Hi, everybody. Um, I finished this journal and I wanted to make a video of it before I mailed it off because it's already been purchased. Thank you so much, Cynthia. But I wanted to make a quick video so you can see. But see, I want to add a couple of these vintage postcards into it too. And I didn't make a tag. Somebody told me don't make tags out of them because they're worth more if you don't, which I don't actually, let me see, I gotta untie this. I don't actually go too much by the monetary value of something as I go about the sentimental and the nostalgic value. And these postcards have got so much value just as they are. So when Cynthia gets these are not copies. She'll get the actual postcard. I made copies for myself before I'm going to put them in, but these are actual postcards. And if you didn't see me go through my happy mail from Susan yesterday, um, these postcards, like this one here, is postmarked 1917. This one is postmarked 1914, and this one I think is the most so awesome. And this one is okay. All I can see is that it's a 1 cent stamp. I can't actually see the year, but what I love about this one is that the writer was writing with a fountain pen. You can tell that she would dip into the ink and write until the ink run low on the fountain pen and then dip it back into, see, because it starts where the script is fading, and then here it faded, and she's right here before she wrote the rest of this next word, she had to dip it back into the ink to write some more. And you can see how the script will fade and then go back dark again, so you know when she dipped or he dipped, whatever. um it was a he because it was Clarence and he was writing to Carl. Hello, old boy. Hello, old boy, how are you all coming about there? I suppose you are something wood these fine days, chopping wood these fine days. We have boiling sap. Oh, we have been boiling sap this week to be all get. I boiled sap last week until 10 minutes after 12. That's way long enough for some of it's hard. Oh, time to go to bed. Time we have 120 gallons of syrup made now. Will something before long, your old friend Clarence. Oh, I didn't read that before. That's even makes it even more interesting. I guess he was thinking that Carl was chopping wood, but Clarence was boiling sap out of the trees. And that was, I don't see where it's postmarked at. I mean, it was going to Ohio though. And so, heartfelt congratulations. That's going to go in this book along for Cynthia. But it's got the fabric cover. It has the shoelace. Well, it's not shoelaces, but it's laced like a shoelace on the spine. It has lace and trim. It's got the cardinal there, the little red bead. This is an altered book journal, but each page, there's a lot of vintage pictures that were sent to me that I use, and um, these were sent to me. The vintage pictures, these clusters were sent to me by another person, and some tags and the things that I've just had around and things that I put together. Uh, a lot of these little advertisements was from a group of advertisements that I purchased from somewhere. Oh, that was an AliExpress thing. And then there's vintage. These are like the vintage flashcards, and then this is just tags that I was playing with oxide inks, and I made tags. So, and then here is, oh, this is advertisement that I got out of a magazine, an old magazine, so I put that on here. And this one was just in my yesterday's Happy Mail. It's just a nickel little tube that you can put nickels in. And look, it's a cute little baby there. And then here, oh, I added one of my ATC cards, which has got my name on there, so she'll know that I made that. And hopefully she likes that too. She won't have to keep that in there. Well, you don't have to keep any of this stuff in here. But now see, that's got 3 tags in it. But this is the stuff I put in. There is room for writing. Although I don't know how easy it is to write on this kind of paper because it's kind of slick. But then here I have made some tags out of just book page and little bits and bobs, but you can still write on the reverse side of that. And here now there's another pocket. Each page has pockets, and within, oh, this is a copy. This is a copy of a library card from Days of Yore. You know what? I think I'm going to put this right in here. I'll put that one right there. So Cynthia, you'll get actually, I hope you love them as much as I do. I just think, and I don't, like I say, I don't look at it, there are postcard um, collectors that might say, oh, there's money to be had in these. But, I'm thinking there is more love to be had and history to be had in these. And here again, we have some vintage photographs. And this is a pocket here that I put that behind there. And this is a postcard, but this is not this is a vintage looking, but this one is not vintage. And then here we have a uh, bookmark here. Different things that are vintage looking that aren't vintage, but they're vintage looking, and I just love them. I think they're just as worth just as much in sentimental value. This I made a small junk journal to be tucked inside. So there's quite a few pages in the junk journal that can be written on. And here, again, copies of older, look at that couple there. I mean, look at these. These are so much fun. So much fun. And on some of the laced edges, I just put a little safety pin. These little tiny golden safety pins. They are nice too. And here I made the pocket out of just the Tim Holtz people and a little, I think this was Tim Holtz maybe too as well. But then I stitched around this image. The stitching kind of gives it a little bit of just a little bit more fun. And then here on the top, I just put the doily is vintage, but then I put some fibers and a piece of braid up there and just stapled it on. And here it says, you're getting old when the only whistles you hear are from the tea kettle. And that's fun. I think that might be where I'll put this. Let me see. I got to see what this one says too. This one was mailed to Carl in, the same person in 1914. And that's over 100 years ago that this went through the mail. And let's see if I can read that one. Carrie, oh, April 20th, 1914. Dear Hazel and, okay, okay, so it went, oh, Hazel and Carl. Dear Hazel and Carl, um, and, okay, I'm not, okay, something about the eggs will be ready whenever you can be ready for them. Okay, so you try and read that. You try and read that, um, Cynthia, when you get the book. But yes, their eggs is going to be ready sometime. 1 penny to mail that postcard. I'm going to put that one in here too. I like the stamp to show. That's and these are vintage. These are not copies. This is amazing. And then here I have um, more clusters put on, images. So if this is no pockets on this page, but you know, I just went through a, a journal that I was gifted some time ago, and I've never written anything in it, but I just went through it again just a couple days ago, and just by looking at the things, just it's just such. I mean, you wouldn't take a magazine and read it again after you've read it once and get as much joy as you get out of looking at a book, something like this, and then put it away, put it just up, and then look at it again later. It's more, it's like you're looking at it again all new, for me anyway. And then here, look, then here, oh, this one here, I've got another little small junk journal that I made with just a few pages. And so, and then that tucks right into that tuck spot. And here, another image of a vintage little girl. And then advertisement and a music page. And on the back, oh, this is actually a postcard. All of these vintage images like this that are copies, recreations, they're all made into postcards. And but you can, so you can still write. You have room to journal there in them places if you so choose to do that. And so, and here's another tag. I just inked it with oxide inks and tucked it back into that pocket. And most of the colors are blues, different blues. And here then, just out of your scraps of paper, there I made a little journal. Um, to put in there. So again, you can journal still. There's places to journal if you want to. And and one thing to journal probably that is kind of important is, you know, unless you're going to give it as a gift, well, even if you give it as a gift, is to journal maybe when you got it, maybe where you got it. And so if somebody sees this 100 years from now, you will they will remember, they will know, oh, this was my grandmother's, and she really loved journals back or whatever. And then have the date on there. This was just a little piece of paper that I was playing with. I folded it in half for a cover where I had inked it and stamped it. And then I just folded it in half and put some paper inside and stapled the spine to make, again, just a little journal. And in there is a little tag as well in that pocket. And then here we turn the page, and again, the same thing. You'll see a lot of vintage um, replication of vintage things. There's a lot of my playing. Just sometimes I'm not making anything in particular, but I'm playing on paper just to see what happens, and then that tag became there. And then here is just a piece. This was actually just a scrap of paper that I folded in half to make a flip, and you plenty of room for journaling on there. And I rounded the corners, and it makes it look very, very nice. And went over the top of the page again with a piece of a just a small piece of a doily, and some fibers and some rickrack there. Okay, and then I put a little safety pin, one of the little gold safety pins there. And here again, the pockets, another flip open. Oh, that's the one I just showed you. This one here is in here, and in each pocket, I've got 2 or 3 things. In here we have another one of the tags. Here's a little, in fact, I just got that little aged card. That was yesterday, so I put that in there. And here's another little book that I made just out of a piece of paper that I had that I'd been playing with. I rounded the corners, added some writing paper inside, stapled the spine, and there's your a little tiny journal to write something in. And so, and I have a lot of laces and such on the edges of the pages, and some of the pages, like right here, I have one of those little bitty golden small safety pins, and then to it I attached some little dangle beads just to hang off the edge. And here again, now this, another folded piece, another tag, and okay, and this is, I was just looking, looks like it's coming loose right there. Hopefully that doesn't come loose. And then another tag that I made out of the playing with the paper and some little edging on there. And oh, there's Marilyn Monroe. Gotta have her in there. And I just put her in. She's a postcard too. But there's old Marilyn. She's in your book. And a little cluster that was sent to me. And I love the things that I get sent to me. I use in making my journals and such. And now this one, I just put the little pockets at the bottom, and that way I can put a long narrow tag in um, in those little pockets. That's just a little folded page, okay. And then some more cluster, another little narrow tag, my little stamp of my little bear there. He's a little koala bear. Well, a koala and a bear are two different things, but he's a koala. And here again, oh, look at, there's old Clark Gable. Just love that image. And again, they can be a bookmark or just a tag. And you can see how messy it is on the back, because that's what happens when you do just a little bit of playing when you're playing with inks and such. And the same here. Oh, this was the other half of this. I cut these two in half and made two separate tags. There's the advertisement for Singing in the Rain. And that's the end. Okay, so here then, this is one more card. This one says, greetings, a postal is a little thing, but little though it be, a postcard when sent by you would be scorned by me. Okay, I don't quite get that. But anyway, this one here is postmarked. You cannot see the what was ever written on there because it has faded in time, but it does say 1917 in February. And you can see where there was something written on there, but with age it has faded and the stamp has come off, but you can see where the stamp was. So again, another vintage postcard, and those are truly vintage. And so then I just take now, and I simply take I took this, let me see, I had the rickrack too, but I don't know if that rickrack might be just a little too much. I like just the lace, and I just go around, and then I give my book a hug because I love my book. And then I almost don't want to send it off, but I am. I'm gonna and then I'm gonna be working on more. When I first started showing this book, since I started showing, I had 7 people offer to purchase it, and then I thought, oh my gosh, because I put up the price that I was expecting to, that maybe if I was lucky I would get, and but I enjoyed making every bit of this, and so I'm going to be making another one, doing the same way, with the same, I have some more of the cardinal material, and I got more books, and I'm going to be doing this altered book. Let me see, I'm just going to take this red, I'm just going to wrap it around. I just think the more fluff, the better. I'm just going to wrap that around like this. Okay, there we go. And just gently tie that. I'm not going to tie it in a knot or anything. Just gently tie it. There you go. And I think that looks pretty. I like the red with the red cardinal and the red trim. There's not a lot of red inside, mostly blue. But that is my journal. That is my finished journal. And I love her. I think she's just beautiful. And so I'm going to get that packaged up today and I'm going to mail it off to Miss Cynthia. And I'm glad I know this will be at a really good home. I really wasn't expecting for it to be like alligator-ish like this, but I had to put things in there, and then that's what happened. And so it's just what happened. And so that's the finished journal. Thank you so much for watching it. And if you were one of them that offered to purchase it from me, I'll just let you know that there's going to be more journals coming, and each one of them as I make it will be I've got so many of these vintage postcards now that each journal will have some of the actual vintage postcards in there that are over 100 years old. And so I think that makes the journal a lot more special than if it was just my work in there. Those vintage items just are amazing. They're just amazing. So thank you so much for watching. Let me read um, one little bit of inspiration here. These are from my Love Yourself card collection. And let's just pick one. And in here this says, I listen with love to my body's messages. I take a nice deep breath and release all resistance to healing. I'm going to stuff that in there. Since I read that here, I'm going to just stuff it in there. Let me just stuff it. That one's going to go. Well, it won't go in that page. There we go. It went in that page. I'm going to stuff it in there. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. And be sure to watch the next video, and then the next one after that, and the next one after that, and all the old ones, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, love you all. May God watch over you every step you take, every move you make, and I will see you on the next video. God bless.